Hi nerds! It's November 1st, 2013, and you know what that means. It means Robert's home.
Hi.
Actually, that's not what it means, but Robert is also home this week, and am I going to see you more this weekend than the last time you were home?
I'm going to be here a lot. I have to write a paper.
Sweet, I will be here. Maybe.
Use Gus to write the paper, too.
No! Wow! Well, yes, but that's not due for two weeks.
I have 2 papers. Same teacher.
The one you don't like?
Yeah. I'll explain later.
Update, Robert will now be doing videos on Thursday, despite the fact that he didn't do one yesterday. Double punishment!
I don't want to watch another Barbie video.
2! Simultaneously!
Actually, I already have 2.
4!
No, 3 would be the math there.
Well, yeah, but it's an exponential growth as well.
I don't think we agreed on that.
Well, too bad. I declared it!
Caesar, you don't get to make those sorts of decisions.
You called me Caesar, that's the rules now, I get to. Woo!
But I'm Brutus.
Tune Brutus.
E tu Brute. Shakespeare. But that's Shakespeare.
I got other stuff up here.
But you don't have room for Shakespeare?
Some Shakespeare. I have important things like how to splint a leg, or like what an IV actually is and how to use it. And more importantly than that, how to calculate a drip rate for any meds that you would put in an IV, because too much, and oh look, he died. Too little, and oh look, he died.
Yeah, mine is just how to not create black holes. I also have conservation of momentum, that's useful.
Alright, I'll take that.
I mean, it happens, so knowing the numbers behind it just sort of happens. You actually have to calculate the numbers. I know what happens.
So, that was fun. Thank you, Robert. And, now it's time for you to go see your friends.
Don't get guns!
Damn it.
Hello, nerds! So, that was fun. I got to see Robert. Hopefully I'll get to see him a couple more times before he goes back. I have a little bit of the plague. I think it's left over from when I got that bite last week. So I've got some sinus things, so if I sound a little weird, that's why. I've had a very interesting week at school. I actually made it to parkour this week, which was fantastic. I think I'm almost ready to do a Kong, which I'm very excited about. So this week was a very long week for myself and many other members of my class. We had a paper due, a week full of exams, and clinicals. So much fun. And of course, now that I'm filming, is when my sinuses decide that they're going to plug right up. So this week, Josh got to see what life was like for me. He had to work overnight, and so he fell asleep in class a couple times. I may have had some fun playing a few pranks on him. And lucky for you all, I will be uploading a separate video about that because it's going to take up too much time in this video. Yay! Separate video about pranking Josh! I'm trying to think what else I have done this week. Parkour, pranks on Josh, clinical. I published that paper. There we go. So, I had a paper due this week, and foolishly I picked doing it on sleep deprivation, which is something that I am more than acquainted with. Working nights, going to school during the day, and then attempting to have a social life at the same time. So, I did a lot of reading about sleep deprivation, and then I went to write the paper. But I left the paper to do until the night before. Admittedly, I had clinicals the day before, so I had pre-clinicals to do before that, and then I had an exam before that. There was just a lot. There's always just a lot to do. I shouldn't be complaining. It's nursing school. I know there's going to be a lot to do. And I did a lot of reading about how the sleep deprivation can affect your heart rate, blood pressure, can have physiological symptoms, increases obesity, chance of diabetes, coronary disease, all sorts of super fun things. So I was sitting there researching and going, oh god, I'm going to die at any time! And then I found an article about how sleep affects the brain. They have newly discovered how the brain removes waste material. It's not absorbed through the lymph system, and it doesn't get absorbed through the blood because there's the blood-brain barrier, so blood actually never gets into the brain. How does it get rid of it? Well, there's these special cells that form these channels in which cerebral spinal fluid can flow through and wash over the brain. And we keep things short and simple because I know I don't have a lot of time left in the video. It washes over the brain, and what it does is it removes the metabolic waste material left over in the brain. And so when you don't sleep, this waste material builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up and can actually start to kill neurons. It's like any other cell in your body. If it was constantly exposed to toxins, it's going to die. And so, still, for some unknown reason, your body needs to sleep, because that is when the brain actually removes most of the waste. So if you don't sleep for 8 hours a day, you don't remove all of the toxins from your brain.
There may be some foreshadowing here, but it sounds like a problem.
This group of researchers think that they may have found a leading cause to degenerative brain diseases. Not necessarily saying that insomnia directly causes them, but it can affect it. Not sleeping properly could increase your chances of developing one of these issues. So, get your sleep, folks. And on that note, I didn't actually sleep that night. I had to stay up the whole night because my hard drive just exploded. And I wasn't able to save my paper. So I had to write it all, and I managed to finish it 2 hours before class.